It's official, $31.4 trillion today. I have all the details and what this means for you right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now in this video, I want to discuss all the headlines hitting the wire today in regards to the $31.4 trillion debt limit the United States just reached today. You've probably seen this showing up as it is literally all over the place. A ton of people are talking about this. It is everywhere right now. There's a lot of drama about this, and I want to take a few minutes right here in this video to break it all down and let you know what this really means for all of us. As I can tell you this much, it is not nearly as bad as what they're all making it out to be. So let's get into it and discuss those details. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so. And because I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side each and every day, watching all this new information hitting the wire, doing the research and breaking it all down so you can stay updated with what's actually going on, and most importantly, how it's going to impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and of course, just keeping you informed with all of these changes, as it's such a busy time right now. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and also remember, I'm here for you in any way that I can be. That's my dedication and my promise to you and everybody here in the community, and as always, I'm sticking to it. All right, thanks again. Let's get into it and talk about $31.4 trillion, the debt limit that we reached today here in the United States, and what it means for all of us. All right, so I've done a lot more research on this today, and again, I've been talking about this a little bit here over the last week or so, and letting you know what this means. This is no surprise at all that it arrived today. In fact, I've been talking about it here over the last few days, and even yesterday, I was out in a separate video and said, tomorrow, it's coming. We already know for a fact we're going to be hitting the debt limit today, as announced by the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, about a week ago. She said, look out, next Thursday, we're going to hit it. Well, guess what? That's today, and it's no surprise that we are here. So this does not come as a surprise to anybody, as we all knew this was coming. All right, so what does it all mean? Because the headlines are suggesting the country is going down the tubes. Is that true? Well, no, it's actually not. Like I said, I've done a lot more research on this. Let me explain this to you to my best ability and my understanding of all this. All right, now here's the thing. Obviously, everybody wants to sensationalize this whole thing and make it act like, oh, this is a really bad situation. We're going down, right? Well, not really, okay? We've got a lot of time here. In fact, this is nothing abnormal. In fact, we went through this same situation back in late 2021 when we were in this exact same situation when Congress was supposed to raise the debt limit, raise the debt ceiling. There was all the drama thrown down. There was all the back and forth, and they said, we're not doing it. And then sure enough, last minute, they did it. No big deal. And they pushed it out until today. And here we are yet again. So here's what I found with the additional research. The Treasury, as well as Congress, has been doing this since the 80s. In other words, what happened today is that we knew that we hit the debt limit. The Treasury went in and they're starting to do some extraordinary measures to make sure that the United States does not default on our debt. In other words, making sure that the United States continues to pay all the bills and everything like that. Making sure that we don't default. In other words, basically calling out to all of our creditors and all the people that we owe money to and saying, hey, sorry, we're broke. We got no money, but we can't pay you. In other words, that would be called a default. We can't pay our bills. Well, as of right now, we can still pay our bills. No problem whatsoever. In fact, the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, has indicated that we'll be able to pay our bills until about early June. But after that, well, it's kind of up in the air at that point. So we've got a lot of time here, right? We've got a lot of months here, a few months anyway, to get this figured out. And do we need to figure something out? No. Congress needs to figure it out. It has nothing to do with us. We've got nothing to do other than to sit back, make some popcorn, and watch the drama, because this is going to be better than any of your daytime television, because this is going to be some real drama thrown down here, okay? So here's what's going on with this. Basically what happens here is, obviously we don't want the Treasury to come in and start making any of these extraordinary measures like what they're doing as of today. However, this is not abnormal. In fact, they've done this many, many times here since the 80s, as I found with the research, okay? So again, like I said, it's not a big deal. They're making it act like this is such a big deal. The Treasury has come in and the Treasury is making extraordinary measures. Who cares? They do it all the time. It's not a big deal, okay? So they're making it act like this is a huge deal and something so extraordinary. It's not really. The Treasury does it all the time, okay? And again, like I said, in the reports that I found, they said they've been doing this for about 40 plus years. The Treasury has been coming in times like this and making sure that they don't default on the debt. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not something that we want to push out forever and ever and make sure that, we want to get this handled at some point. But basically now it comes down to Congress. As in, Congress needs to raise the debt ceiling. As of right now, it's $31.4 trillion. Basically, what this means is that this is the statutory debt limit. In other words, this is basically the amount of debt that the federal government can borrow, or the amount of money that the federal government can borrow, okay? Now, obviously, Congress needs to come in and raise that up. In other words, we need to reach back out and borrow more money so we can go into debt even further in this country, is basically what it comes down to. So basically, we got a credit line of, say, $31.4 trillion, just like a credit card for all of us, right? We reach out, we open up a new credit card, and they say, we're giving you a $1,000 credit limit. You can spend up to the limit. Well, guess what? When we spend up to the limit, what do we need to do? We either need to call and we say, hey, I spent all my money. Can you raise my debt limit a little bit more? My credit line? And sometimes they'll say, sure, we can do that, no problem. And they might need to qualify your income or something like that. Same thing goes with the United States and the government. We've spent all of the money on our $31.4 trillion credit card here in this country. Well, as a result of that, now they need to reach out to the creditors and say, can we maybe raise our debt limit a little bit? And the creditors in this case would be essentially Congress, right? So Congress needs to come together and raise the debt limit. In other words, how much more money can we blow in this country that we don't have, right? Well, I talked about the other day about, I don't know, maybe a week or so ago or close to about a week ago, I talked about this idea of them minting a $1 trillion platinum coin. In fact, in that video, I held up this coin exactly. It's a silver coin. It's not a $1 trillion coin. It's literally just a silver coin that I play with while I talk. It's literally a silver American Eagle. It's worth about $33 or so. So it's 1 ounce of silver. It's worth not much, okay? Someone actually gave it to me about a year ago, year and a half ago. And it's literally sitting here. I literally play with it in every single video. So anyway, my point is it'd be a coin that looks just like this. A silver coin, it's actually platinum, is the one that they're talking about, and it would say $1 trillion on it rather than 1 troy ounce of silver. I wish I had $1 trillion coin, but I don't, and instead I have a silver coin. So my point is they want to mint something that looks very similar to that coin that I just showed you, and basically it would have a $1 trillion value. Essentially, they would give it to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve would deposit it into their vault, and they would print $1 trillion. Now, this would be one way that they could get out of this if Congress does not come together and raise the debt limit. So, long story short here, there's nothing to worry about. In the event that Congress cannot come together and do something, they will come out and they will mint a coin, or they'll come up with some other phony business and they'll do something to make sure that the Federal Reserve can print up a bunch more money and basically, give it to them so they can spend it. So, long story short, when it comes down to it, we have until about early June for Congress to come together and figure out something on the debt limit, okay? Or raise the debt ceiling, I should say. In the event that they don't do something, well, then they're likely going to mint some kind of $1 trillion coin, or they're going to come up with some other, game or some other thing that they're going to figure out to make sure that we do not default in this country, okay? So this is something that we'll continue to hear about. It's going to be a lot of headlines coming out on this one. Congress will go back and forth. I guarantee you there will be a lot of drama on this thing going forward. It does not mean that they passed a $31.4 trillion package. That's not what happened. In fact, they didn't pass any packages. All they did is they spent $31.4 trillion that we don't have. That's what they did, okay? So this country is in debt by $31.4 trillion and counting, okay? So that simply means that they need to get more money because we're so in debt right now that we can't even pay any of the bills. So basically when it comes down to it, we'll have to continue watching this. They're talking about potentially, you hear all the, the horror stories, right? Oh, if we don't get it together, we're going into a big shutdown in the government. We're going to stop benefits. All the money's going to stop. We're going to default. We won't be able to pay our bills, all these things like this. This would be like a worst case scenario, and it's not going to happen, okay? There's just no way. There's so many other backdrops. There's so many other, what's that thing called in baseball? Like the thing behind the catcher and stuff? Backstop. Backstop, that's what it's called. There's so many backstops with all this stuff, right? There's no way. There's so many other measures that they have in place right now that they'll come in and do something before any of that were to ever happen. Now, maybe will they get close? They might get close, but is this something we really need to worry about? Right now, no. We've got the Treasury backing us up. The Treasury backing up the government. The Treasury's paying all the bills. They're good to go there. Congress has a couple months to go. We've got the $1 trillion coin on the table. We got all kinds of different things. They got a lot of backstops here. Nothing to worry about, okay? So this is what we know as of right now. But again, you've probably seen it in the headlines. They're making this whole thing sound way, way worse than it really is. And like I said earlier, according to my research, according to everything that I found on this, they're talking about it and they're saying this is no big deal. This is something that they've done many, many times over the last 40 plus years. Seriously, it's not a big deal. They do this all the time. So they'll figure it out as they always do, but they love to write a dramatic novel about this whole thing first and then say, oh, the white horse came sailing in at sunset and swooped everybody away, and we're all good to go now. So anyway, just want to break this all down for you, let you know what's going on here. This is what it really comes down to. Of course, I will keep an eye on this, as I do with everything else out there, and as I do get more details, of course, I'll be right here for you, breaking it all down, letting you know what's going on and what may come in that impacts us or anything like that. But of course, there will be some concessions with this, just like every negotiation, right? That's what it is. It's a negotiation between Congress, right? They need to figure out a plan on this, and just like with everything, all the bills, packages, proposals, and amendments that we always see coming out, there's always negotiations. They're the initial offer, and then they come back and they say, no, I want this. And they'll go back and forth and say, I want this, I want that. Let's take this out. Let's add this. Let's do this. Let's shave this spending down. Let's add some spending here. All kinds of stuff like this. So it's just like any other negotiation out there, right? You walk onto a car lot to buy a car. Do you pay sticker price? I hope not, because why? You know what I mean? You can always negotiate, right? So anyway, my point is, it's the same old thing. It's just a regular negotiation, the back and forth, the back and forth. What can you throw in on the deal, right? Can you add a trailer hitch? Can you throw in some nice tires? You know what I mean? It's the same old thing, right? Can you bring it down $1,000? Can you give me an extra warranty? What can you throw in? You know what I mean? Can you throw in a seat heater? Kind of stuff like that. It's the same old stuff that you do when you're buying a car. It's just a negotiation. That's all it is. Anyway, I'll keep you posted as I do get more details. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again later in the next video. I'll see you for now.